Students, welcome to once again for the virtual classes of Indian Constitution. So, in the previous class, we were discussing about the Vice President of India, his election, and other details. So, there is a list of Vice Presidents of India. So, as I told in the previous class, the first Vice President of independent India was S. Radhakrishnan. So S. Radhakrishnan was the first unanimously uh, elected Vice President of India. So after his tenure, Zakir Hussain became the Vice President of India. So after that, V.V. Giri uh, was elected as the Vice President. And then after V.V. Giri, G.S. Patak. After G.S. Patak, first time a person from Karnataka state became the Vice President of India. So he was B.D. Jatti. And after his tenure, one Supreme Court Chief Justice became the acting Vice President of India. Then after that, R. Venkataraman became the Vice President of India. So after his tenure, he was also contested the presidential election and became the President of India for one term. Then after R. Venkataraman, Shankar Dayal Sharma became the Vice President of India. And K.R. Narayanan also completed his 5 years term as the Vice President of India. So, like that, many people became the Vice Presidents of India. So now we have M. Venkaiah Naidu as the Vice President of India. So and then let us go through the list of the Vice Presidents. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, Zakir Hussain, V.V. Giri, G.S. Patak, B.D. Jatti, M. Hidayatullah, R. Venkataraman, Shankar Dayal Sharma, K.R. Narayanan, Krishna Kant, Bairam Singh Shekhawat, Hamid Hansari, M. Venkaiah Naidu. So today we have M. Venkaiah Naidu as the Vice President of India. Then functions of the Vice President. The Constitution has vested the Vice President with two sets of powers, so which are potential powers and actual powers. When the post of the President falls vacant due to his death, resignation, or ousted through impeachment move, the Vice President holds that post and during his officiating capacity as the President. So this period can be extended a period of 6 months. So as per Article 65. So this is the potential powers of the Vice President. So potential powers are when he acts as the President of India. The powers enjoyed and exercised by the Vice President as the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha is his actual powers. So, as per Article 64, the original powers of the Vice President is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Since he has to act in accordance with the rules and regulations, traditions, and the conventions of Rajya Sabha. So, in this sphere, there is no much scope for the exercising of his powers. Position of the Vice President. Despite the fact that the Vice President has not been assigned any specific or special duties, he occupies an important position. He occupies an office of the considerable dignity. His function as the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha deserves full recognition and appreciation. His office is needed to fulfill certain unforeseen eventualities. He performs several functions as India's emissary in various international conferences. His office can serve as the training center for the future presidents. So many vice presidents of India contested the presidential elections and became the presidents of India. Therefore, we can say that the office of the vice president is the training center for the future presidents of India. So these are the details of the vice president, his powers and functions. Next, we should go to the another important personality in the government of the union. In the union government, the most powerful person is the Prime Minister of India. The Prime Minister of India. The office of the Prime Minister is the most powerful office in the Indian political system. If the cabinet is the strongest institution, the Prime Minister is the strongest person in the cabinet. Prime Minister is the head of the government of India and is the real custodian of the executive authority. Article 74, Section 1 states that there shall be a council of ministers with the Prime Minister as the head. The Prime Minister of India heads the Council of Ministers. He is the leader of the party that enjoys a majority in the Lok Sabha. So, appointment of the Prime Minister. How to appoint him? The Prime Minister is appointed by the President of India on the basis of his being the leader of the party that enjoys a majority in the Lok Sabha. If, however, no party gets an absolute majority in the Lok Sabha, or when a Prime Minister resigns or dies and there is no one to take his place, the President has an effective choice because the Constitution is silent here. So he has an effective choice of choosing a Prime Minister for a period of 6 months. And such a person must get himself elected to the Lok Sabha within this period. So this is the method for the the appointment of the Prime Minister. He must be a leader of the majority party, or uh, he must be a member of the ruling party in either in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha. Then there are some qualifications for the post of the Prime Minister. But according to the Constitution, no normal qualifications are required. for the post of the Prime Minister. Why? Because he is only appointed Prime Minister, not elected Prime Minister, he is appointed Prime Minister. Any person who is elected as the leader of the majority party in the Lok Sabha gets appointed as the Prime Minister. He can be a member of either house. Any person who is not a member of the parliament can be appointed as the Prime Minister. Any person who is not presently a member of the parliament can also be appointed as Prime Minister. But he cannot continue in that capacity for more than 6 months unless getting a membership of either the House of Parliament. Then another important qualification for the Prime Minister is he must be above the age of 25 years. 25 years is the minimum age limit for the person to contest the Lok Sabha election. So that is also the age limit for the minimum age limit for Prime Minister. The qualifications which are essential for the membership of the Parliament are also the essential qualifications for the office of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister need not be a sitting member of the Parliament. Any member of the Rajya Sabha can also be appointed as the Prime Minister. After general election in 2004, Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was a Rajya Sabha member, became the Prime Minister of India. So we have Narendra Modi as the present Prime Minister of India. So he must be a member of either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Term of office. Once appointed, how many years he can be in office? The term of the Prime Minister ordinarily does not exceed 5 years, but he can be reappointed if his leadership is recognized in the Lok Sabha. He holds office with the consent of the President and till a new Lok Sabha is formed. Even when the Lok Sabha is dissolved by the President, he can ask the Prime Minister to hold office till new elections are held. But as per the constitutional provision, 5 years is the term of the Prime Minister. Resignation. If the government is defeated in the Rajya Sabha, it is not obligatory for the Prime Minister to resign. However, if defeated in the Lok Sabha, the Cabinet and the Prime Minister both have to resign as they are responsible and answerable to the Lok Sabha. So, if the government is defeated in the Lok Sabha, compulsorily the Prime Minister and his entire Cabinet should resign. Then salary and allowances, emoluments for the post of the Prime Minister. As on February 25th, 2019, the gross salary of the Prime Minister is 1,60,000 per month. Pay scale 50,000, expenditure allowance 3,000, daily allowance 62,000 at the rate of 2,000 per day, and constituency allowance rupees 45,000. But there is a viral message claimed that Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao and Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal's salary is more than the salary of the Prime Minister of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's salary is 1,60,000, but K. Chandrasekhar Rao drawing 4,10,000 per month and Kejriwal drawing 3,90,000 salary per month. But Andhra CM Nara Chandrababu Naidu, so earlier when he was a Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, he was drawing a less salary, only 33,500 per month. Now, Jagan Mohan Reddy is the present Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. These are the Prime Ministers of India. First Prime Minister of Independent India, Jawaharlal Nehru. So after that, G.V. Malavankar became the acting Prime Minister of India for a temporary period. So after that, Lal Bahadur Shastri became the Prime Minister of India. And after his death, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, daughter of Jawaharlal Nehru, became the first women Prime Minister of India. So after that, in 1978, first time the non-Congress party came to power, the Janata Party. So when Janata Party formed the government, Morarji Desai became the Prime Minister of India. So after his tenure for 2.5 years, Charan Singh became the Prime Minister of India for a temporary period, for a limited period. So after that, the country gone for new elections. Again, the Congress party came to power. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, the son of Mrs. Gandhi, became the Prime Minister of India. And once again, a non-Congress party came to power, and VP Singh under Janata Dal